Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Anybody that's new, welcome. My name's Debbie, I'm the Crafty Shopper. Today we're going to be making a Jenga block Christmas tray slash centerpiece. We're going to be using some big dusters from Dollar Tree to make the trees later in the tutorial. I'm going to use Well Bond, and I use Well Bond for all my Jenga block crafts. I will use hot glue when it's only a couple pieces, but I always suggest using wood glue. I know DT does sell wood glue. I've never personally seen it in my store, but I've heard a lot of crafters say it works fine. Just make sure you use wood glue when you're doing it. Don't use hot glue. Hot glue, the blocks don't seal nice and solid, and you'll get a lot of gaps if you use the hot glue. Plus hot glue doesn't hold always and eventually give away. And also whatever glue you do use, just make sure you read the back direction. Just for drying times, I know I've had a few crafters lately say that it's fallen apart, and that's probably because you've touched it too soon or you've put too much and it takes extra time to let it dry. This one says 24 hours. Usually I can start moving stuff around if I'm not being hard on the build. I could usually move around stuff in 5 hours. I just be careful and just like I said, read the back of the directions you can use them. We're going to be using the Dollar Tree Tumbling Tower, aka Jenga blocks. I call them Jenga blocks. They're found in the kids section. They can either come in this package or the blue package. If you cannot find them, and I know that's a lot of problems people do have looking for them. I'm not in Canada here. We can't order from Dollar Tree, but in the US you can. Now, I've heard from many crafters you can order minimum 3 up to a case. Now, these are from different people, so I don't know if it's just different locations only let you ship so much. Shipping does become expensive from what I gather in the US. I would suggest signing up with the dollartree.com website. Just today I got another email saying that 50% off shipping, so it goes right to your door. Also, I've heard that you can get them shipped to your local store for free. Just inquire with your store before you're ordering them online. I do pre-glue my builds ahead of time just to make sure that they come together. And it doesn't make my video like 2 hours long. We are going to use the L-shape ruler, carpenter ruler. People have tried to correct me with the L-shape. I call it L-shape because it looks like an L. Dollar Tree in the hardware section. When you're gluing your blocks, it just keeps them nice and straight, especially when you're doing rows, keeping them straight along as you go. And then as they're drying, I move them up, make sure they're straight again, and I'll move on to something else. And I do that all around my desk mat. I have had recently a lot of people ask me about my desk mat. It's just from IKEA. Just basically what it is. It's just a desk mat. I buff it out every once in a while when I get a lot of glue on it, and it's just like back to new once it's done. Now we're going to start with the base. This build is going to be 152 blocks. We are going to add a couple Jenga pieces, I think, later, but it won't be to the existing box. It's going to be onto, I think, deers. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that one yet. I'm just going to cover the one side here. So we're going to start the base of the Christmas box. And you're going to glue flat. When I say flat, meaning flat like that. And none of the blocks in this build are stacked, so they're all flat. So you're going to need 8. That's 1 row of 8. 2 rows of 8. And you're just going to glue them on. 3 rows. 4 rows. 5. 6. 7. And so the base is 8 rows of 8, which are 64 blocks. We're going to start on the long sides now, and I always suggest grabbing a pen and paper. Sometimes it's easier for you to refer than watching the video again. Just keep a note of it. That's how I keep track of what I'm telling you guys, since I work with so many numbers with blocks. Now this is the side, and you're going to do 4, and you're going to do 8 rows. And that 4 by 8, we have, sorry. 32. And you're going to put it right on the one side here. And then you're going to do exactly another row to match this one, 4 by 8 sections. And that's just going to go on this side. Then we are going to move on. I'm just going to cover it here so I can show you so it doesn't blend in. We're going to do 4 by 3 and another 4 by 3. So 12 and 12 is 24 blocks. And we're just going to glue it on the side just like that. So you will have to glue it along the base there on both sides, and then the sides and the base there. And then you're just going to let that dry. Now, before you do put it together, I always like to go over, because I am going to be using stain, even paint. And now I can't find my buffer. I think it's in a bowl around here. You can buy one of those square buffing blocks, and I'm just going to grab it. Just wanted to show you. I bought this one just in the section of DT. It's just the coarse on one side, slightly, the coarse is not as bad on that side. This one is just in the automotive side. This is you get in the nail side, that one as well. All those three are from DT, except this one's from one of the nail salons, and I use that just sometimes for the corners. When you're gluing your blocks together, even doesn't matter what glue you use, whether it's Wellbond or anything like that, sometimes you'll have to look on an angle. Sometimes I can see a little piece of glue sticking out. When you are doing stain, you will see that reflect through and it won't stain properly. So I suggest just lightly sanding where you see any glue in the corner. You don't have to worry so much if you know which side. On the inside, you're not really going to see the inside, but along just the outside edges, I would just buff so that you get a nice even stain on the box. I left this for about 4 or 5 hours. It seems sturdy enough that I can paint it while it's still curing. And can just use some dark walnut from Rona/Lowe's, and I'm just gonna stain it. Now you can do any color you want, but I'm gonna do the stain. So I changed my mind on using the Dollar Tree big dusters. I thought I'm gonna try something a little different. So I got the box done, and it's really solid. And we're gonna add some toilet plunger sticks. So you're gonna grab 3 of these DT plungers. You're just gonna screw them off. Just gonna take the stickers off. Now, I find the best way to take off stickers is putting it under a hair dryer, and I usually use tweezers and get them off. Once you do that, we are gonna paint them. Now, I already stained 3 of the sticks, and I used the same color, the chestnut brown, as I did with the box below. And I'm just gonna show you something, because I thought it was funny when I was painting them, that one's a little bit longer than the other, and I thought it was kind of funny, but that's okay. We're gonna use that at the top bar. But we're gonna use the same ones that are the same height. And we're gonna put some Wellbond glue on it. And I'm just gonna show you here. Get it open. And we're gonna put it on, I'm gonna show you this side because the line's a little bit easier to see. So I'm gonna mark it, and I'm just gonna put it to here. I'm gonna go all the way down. And you're gonna use the flat part where the grooves are, where you unscrewed it from the bottom of the plunger, and you're going to use that end to be flat, and the mark where I have the glue, and I'm just going to put it against that line. I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to do the exact same thing to the other side of the tray, and I am going to leave those fully dry overnight. After I glued them on and I showed you, I did leave them for 5 hours, and then right before bed, I actually just put in the corners here and here and just around the base. I put just a little bit more well bond just for more of a secure fit, that it's just going to stay nice and tight. And I'm going to secure it just a little bit more just because we are going to hang a couple things on the top bar, and I just want to make sure that it's super tight and it will not fall off. Now I did change the placement. Instead of putting it right across the line right here, I just moved it just a little bit over, and I'm going to show you why in a sec. I want to secure it with a screw. So I use just a drill bit before I put the screw in, and I did it right through, right into the wood. Now I'll show you on the other side, just like that. Now, if you flip it back this way, you're gonna see that it is super solid. Only the one side has a screw, and there's no issues with it. I'm just making sure that it's extra secure, that it won't fall off. Now, if you don't have a drill or anything, that's fine. I have this just in my toolbox. It doesn't fit the poles because they are just a little bit, the diameter is a little bit too big, and it wouldn't run flush to the back of the box. But you could also find something like this, and I'm just going to tilt this sideways, and you could, as long as it's big enough, and you could put it a little bit higher up just to keep the little bit more stability on it. I think it would be okay just with well bond, but I always like to just double check, because you don't want to hang too much on the top bar, and you want to make sure they're solid. I'm going to use some zip ties now to attach the third toilet plunger stick. These are just the nylon cable ties, the zip ties, the 8-inch 20 centimeter ones. I just got 4 black ones here, and I'm going to do this sideways. Let's see. Let's see if I can do it like this, with the box hanging off the table. Now I'm gonna put it right along the top here, not too high, because you want to make sure that you'll be able to do like a crisscross right across each side. I'm just gonna do it loosely. Gonna do one like that. And do the other one. This is how we're going to fasten the top bar. Now we are putting the poles that are closest to the back, that will be the back of the box. I'll show you here in a sec. I don't want to do them too tight. I want to make sure they're on. So where the poles here are closer to the back, that will be considered the back of the box. Now you just want to make sure it's level so you can move it up before you start. I'm just going to show you one here. Now I'm just going to leave it just about that much from the top, and I'm going to move the zip tie back portion, the bulky part, more to the back, and then you're just going to make sure you got them tied on pretty good. I'm going to do them actually closer to the pole on top because we can conceal them after. And you're going to take a bird's eye view from the front to make sure your pole is actually even. And then you're just going to cut the zip ties on each corners here. Now that I secured those on and cut the zip ties, we are going to put some weld on, and we're putting it right on where the X is at the back. at the front and right where you cut the zip tie so none of it gets loose and it will stay solid, and that the actual top bar doesn't slide down. You just want to keep it in place so it just, when you put the weight on here, it doesn't go down with the zip ties. That's why I just put it in the extra spots, and you don't want the zip tie to snap where you cut it off. So now I will just let both those sides dry and then we will move on. Now that I let the glue dry on top, there's this garland from DT. Now you can use this one. This is the wire one. I'm not going to use it. I'm going to use this garland I have. I've had it in my stash and it's already unraveled. So I'm going to use this one first. I'm going to start at the base and you're going to hot glue it right on the inside of the pole. And I'm just going to show you this way. Then you're just going to wrap it. You're going to do it tight. And you're just going to keep wrapping it all the way around and back down to here. So now that I got it all on, I was running out of the garland and I just left it a little bit more thin along the top, which was fine, and just hot glued the ends on top. I do want to add a little bit more to the top. What I'm going to do, and I'm just going to move this down so you can see. I have these floral picks from Dollarama. My Dollar Tree seems to be a little bit picked over. I like these ones just with the pine cones, and I'm just going to end up cutting the ends off, which I'm probably going to have to do off camera because it's giving me a hard time right now. Just going to cut it off, and I have two of them. Oh, there we go. I have two of them, and I'm going to place them right on top, and I'm just going to hot glue them down. I have two here. I'm going to cut this one. Cut it off camera. Right on top, and just like that. So now that we have it glued on, I'm going to leave the middle. I'm still going to put something there before we add any of the lights or anything around it. I'm just going to add a little bit of the artificial spray, snow spray. I got it at Dollarama. I don't know if Dollar Tree carries it. I think I just got it because it was a small little bottle and I wanted to try it as I've never tried it before. So I'm just going to cover the base and take it outside and spray around the green. All right, so the snow went well. I really like it. It meshes with the top just because the green and the floral picks with the garland were kind of off with color. The white snow made it look really good. I'm going to show you in a sec. Before I turn it sideways, I'm going to use these string lights. There's 100 lights on them. It says 10 meters. I got these, I think they're from Dollarama. I think they were like $4, but because it's a bigger build, I want it to really light up. So they come with the 3 batteries in them. I just like because they're super, super bright. And we're going to wrap it around before we add anything onto it. And I'm just going to show you here. So I'm always about everything even. So there's 100 lights. I figure, well, if you divide about 33, 33, can easily conceal the battery pack in the back of the box. And just because it's a long wire before you see a light, I am just going to hot glue it. I'm just going to tip this on an angle. I'm just going to hot glue it all the way down on the bottom as you go along, and then start wrapping them here. And I'm going to kind of count them. Like I said, there's 33. So I will start pulling it apart. I'll do that off camera because it's going to be a little bit a little bit of a nightmare when there's this many lights on. But then I will put a little piece of, say, green tape where the 33, and then I'll count 33 and I'll put another 3. And then when I wrap them, so then it gives even light when you're going up on your build on the side, the top, and the other side. So the lights took about 40 minutes to put on, going back and forth. I'm just going to shut off my overhead light here and I'm just going to show you. And I think it turned out really well. I left them on as I was going, just trying to make sure that they were all spread out. Next thing we're going to do, I'm going to put a star there. I think a star, and it's hard to move. I'm just going to slide you up a little bit here. And I'm going to place it. I'm going to move it a little bit more. Right in the front on top. And it's just from DT. It's just the tea light holder where you stick it in the back. I just used wire cutters. I did light it up with a lighter, and then it was easier to snap to do that. And I'm just going to hot glue it up there. And I can conceal part of the metal wire that you can see here. I want to add some color now to the sides, and I'm just going to move you back down. I want to add some color in here. Dollar Tree does have the garland like this, which I've just tore apart half of my crafting supplies looking for, and I don't have any. So I did find this one, and I'm just going to go with it. It's just actually from Walmart, and I'm just going to wrap it. I'm going to just do the columns. And I'm just going to wrap it around a couple times just to give it some color. Now that we got those on, I'm going to put just, I have little picks here, some berries, and I'm just going to hot glue them right inside, just a couple on each side. Now I found these at Walmart. Every once in a while I buy stuff from Christmas. They have the little packs, and I came across these little bells, and I thought they were super cute. They were just, oh, I just pulled all that off. They were just over, they were $3.49 here in Canada, or $3.98 here in Canada. I don't know what they would be in the US. I just love them, and I thought they were super cute. I'm gonna hot glue them, and you can feel where the top bar ends. And I'm just gonna hot glue them right on the sides. And I think that will just add a little something to the build. So now we're going to work on what we're going to put in the bottom of the tray. Now it really depends on what you want to put in there. So I'm going to grab a Dollar Tree, one of the reindeers, and I'm going to paint it satin black with the Rust-Oleum paint. It only took about a coat and a half just to touch some spots up. I want to add a little bit of something instead of being plain black. Some of the snow fell on it. I'm gonna grab a little piece of fun fur. This is a little bit long, fun fur yarn, and I'm just gonna put it over, cross it over like that. I'm gonna hot glue it on. Might cut the little ends just a little bit shorter. Then I'm going to take some of the DT floral wire. Now you can use jewelry, string, whatever you like. I just want to add a little bit of color. So these are just the DT little bells. I got 2, 4, 6, I got 8 on there. And I'm just going to wrap it once I hot glue it in the spot. I'm just going to wrap it around kind of like a necklace on there. Let's see. And just wrapped around. And if you keep it nice and tight, it will go around properly. I have to do it upright. I'm gonna do that. I want to add this deer. We're gonna add one of the bigger Dollar Tree Christmas trees. Now I got this Santa from Dollarama. I've seen a couple of the stores. I'm not sure if they're Hobby Lobby. I've seen a couple Santas already. It looks like he's skiing. I think he'd be fun to put in there too, since we're gonna eventually put snow on the bottom. And one of the Dollar Tree cloche. Now I haven't used this before, and when I was taking the sticker off, now taking any sticker off anything, I always use a hair dryer and some tweezers, and they just come off nicely, and most of the time they don't leave residue. But when I was checking it out, I realized I had a hole there, and I thought that was pretty cool because I've never used one before. and then one of the Dollar Tree vases, candlesticks, I should say. And we want to glue it right on there, but I want to put something in it, and I also want to put the lights. So I just got some fairy lights here. And you have to just string it through. So I guess we'll put the battery pack underneath. And you're just going to string it through. Now, depends on what you want to put inside. And we're just going to put it through the hole like that. Until... I was thinking for the lights, also for the base that around the poles and the top that I put that big long strand with the battery operated one. But you could also use the DT ones that they have in the box that are plug-in. As long as you have your centerpiece near an outlet or run an extension cord, you could also put those types of lights too. Now, which way am I going? I wish I had the 10. I have these ones are 20. But if I had the 10 one, it would have been better. Just 10 fairy lights. Let me just pull this all the way through off the camera. So I brought the first light out, and I want to try to keep the light totally on the outside as I wrap it. So I'm just going to keep going around. I'm going to keep it tight all the way around until I finish the end of the wire. And the other side is long enough. I just grabbed a piece of Velcro that will stick it on, but I'm going to wrap this around first and we'll show you how I'll put this underneath. Now, when I was going around, I started thinking that I better place what I'm going to put there because I might have a little room instead of staying exactly around the edges. I went to Walmart lately. I'm just finding a lot of DT stuff repetitive from the last couple of years, and it's always nice to have a little something different to work with. I got this bear ornament, 98 cents here in Canada at Walmart. Had the little top. I pulled it off. I used wire cutters, which it's in plastic, but that's okay. They're just cheap wire cutters. I cut down the little stem that was there, and I just put some spackle. I know that DT does scary spackle. It's just basically hole filler. So it just filled the hole nicely. I'm just gonna put a little bit of red paint on it, and I'm gonna let it dry. Okay, my paint's not coming out now, of course. I'm gonna paint it, so then I'm just gonna blend in with the top of the hat. And then I just got some red sparkle from DT. So once it's painted red, then you're just going to use some Mod Podge and put some glitter to finish that off. Now, when I did get the bear yesterday, it did have pink ears and little feet paws. I changed it to gold just to match the decor with this piece, only because I don't have any pink in it. So I just added the gold instead. Now, you should check out Walmart. They do have some cute little things this year, and I just thought they were just super cute, this bear, and I thought sitting on here would just be perfect for it. Now, oh, and one thing. I had a little fun fur. My fun fur yarn. I am just going to switch up, add some hot glue right here, and just around the back, just to add a little bit of extra and make it a little bit more prettier than just the plain rim on it as well. Once I finish that, I'm just gonna hot glue this right on the piece here. Let me put it right under the camera. I'm gonna hot glue it right down. And then you can see the little areas, whatever you use. If you don't use this piece, obviously any other piece, that then you have extra room to put the wire as you're hot gluing it down before we put the snow on. All right, now that I have it done, I put the fur on. I'm thinking he looks really good. On the base part here is where I'm just gonna paint on some Mod Podge Mod Podge, I always say Mod Podge, and just sprinkle some faux snow all the way around the base, just making sure you stay on the inside of the lines so when you put this on that it won't take any of the snow off. So the next thing we're going to do, I've decided that I wanted to add a look to this. I didn't want to add any of the faux snow on it or inside, but I'm going to use some Mod Podge like I did if you watch my Jenga block snow globes machine. I'm going to go on the inside instead of the out, and I'm just going to make little squiggly lines like this. I'm not going to do, I'm going to leave the front part open, but I'm going to do the little insides all the way around, and it just gives it a nice frosted glow, almost like stained glass. So I'm going to do that in little spots and squigglies just to give it some little bit of texture when it dries. Now that I let it dry, you can just see that it's a little bit faint. I'm trying to get close to here. Just a little bit, just texture that you can see on the back. I'm gonna glue it right on top now. You can either just use right on the lip, because it does go right on the inside where I put a little bit too close, but it still fits on. Just the back part where I put the dried Mod Podge, I'm just gonna make sure it's even, and then we're just gonna glue that down before we do underneath, just to make sure that it keeps all the snow and everything in it. While it's still drying, on the base, I'm just gonna stick a little bow on. It's just a ribbon from DT. Just gonna stick it right there, hot glue that right on. Also, you can do, I don't want to move it too much. Around the edge, you can see some of the, I still had a little bit of the snow. You could also put something there, or the one little ledge around it. I just have some of this twine candy cane. This one I think is from Michael's. And I'm just gonna put it around, I don't want to tilt this. You can either put it on that line or that line, and I am just gonna put it on the lower line. You don't see too much snow on the side here, and I'm just gonna probably just use a little bit of Mod Podge and put that right on while I'm still waiting for this to flip over to dry. All right, I glued the wire just over to the side. I already hot glued this on. Even though the wire does stick out from underneath when you hot glue this on, it'll be fine. Now, in order to change the battery, I have like a Velcro sticky strip on both sides. I haven't taken the white part off yet. I'm just gonna wrap it around really tight. Like, it won't see because of the lip of the bottom part. And then you're just gonna take the Velcro off, and you're just gonna and it'll be concealed right under like that. I'll do it off camera. All right, so I was able to stick it on once I took that little sticky part on, and then you can just underneath, I'm just trying to turn it on here. I got the camera in front of my face, so it's hard to look. There we go. Just like that. I am gonna put right on top, it's just this little black bead, but I'm gonna put the circle part on top, so it kind of just looks like a little top that you would lift off the top part of the cloche. Now for the base, I just got this big floral form. I'm just gonna stick it right there. I am gonna stick some other little pieces in the side, because when we fill it with snow, we don't want to use a whole bag of snow just to fill it up. I'm gonna place him, I'll place Santa right there. It's on an angle a little bit. One foot's longer than the other, I noticed. I'm gonna put a tree, I think right there. Let's see if I can move the camera up a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna place the deer. I'm gonna stick this one right here. Now it's hard to see because we're close to the bottom, but I'm gonna put those on. I have a couple more things to add. Once I put a couple little bit more of the floral form on the bottom, I am just gonna add the white DT fake snow. I have some here in a bag. And then I'm just gonna add a couple more things to the top, some hanging things and some balls, and then we're done. All right, before we continue, I just wanted to give a big thanks to all my subscribers and taking the time to watch my videos and leaving comments. You guys are all amazing. And also to all the crafters that tag me in the reels and your YouTube channels and giving me a shout out. I really appreciate it. I do try to make different builds and I do appreciate the shout out. With this build, I was actually really liking it when I started it, and I decided to do a different color. So after this one, I have the base of it built, but I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do different on the inside of the box and hanging around it. I think you'll really like it. I just really love the other one too that I'm doing right now, and we're gonna continue with that one as soon as this one is done. So on the bottom of the box, I didn't want it just plain, and I just had an idea about the Scrabble squares. Now, y'all remember the letter tiles that you can get from DT? I just have like a little tray here of them. I was missing a couple letters, and I had some from a Scrabble box that I took, just 2 of the letters, but you can order those on Temu. I just looked, I think there was like 200 pieces for $4. I think that's a good buy. I've only seen the letter tiles one time in DT, and I bought a couple packs, and I did use them on a couple projects. But in case you can't find them in DT, you could look on Temu, and I'm sure Amazon, but it'll be a bit more expensive. So the red rope that I showed you that I did around the base here, I took it and I just hot glued Merry Christmas on it. And you can see the H and the Y are from a different, actually from the game, but I think it still turned out really well. I'm just gonna hot glue it right in the corners, and with some of the letters that lift up a little bit, I'm just gonna go underneath it just for extra support, just because it's a little bit heavy. And I am just gonna hot glue them right onto the board, but I just think it gives it a nice finish on the bottom. I'm gonna throw a couple pine cones just in the snow, just some I have on hand. I'm gonna probably just hot glue them down so they're don't keep moving everywhere. And probably just one right there. And up here I wanted to do something, I'm just gonna adjust my camera a bit. Up here I wanted something hanging. I thought about the icicles, but the icicles was going to be on the Dollar Tree icicles. They're going to be on the next one we're going to do right after this one. So I just went through my ornaments, and I had a gold. I thought I wanted to stick with the gold and the red, and I'm just going to hang them. I haven't decided yet which one's where. I'm going to hang them. Now you can use the jewelry wire, which is the stretchy one. I had none left, so I'm just going to use some fishing wire and just hang them right underneath. And I'm going to do 3. So the 2 that I showed you, I just had on hand. I had this one silver one. I wanted the gold, so I just put some Mod Podge on it and just put some gold glitter on it. So I'm just waiting for that to dry, and I'm going to add the 3 of them hanging in between here. And just for the very top part, I'm just going to move my camera now. I'm just going to add some DT balls. They come in, I think, a 12 pack, and I'm just going to add just a couple little red ones to make it pop a little bit more, and I'm just going to put them on either side, just in between the branches. Once I get that glued on, I'm going to show you what it looks like finished, and then we're going to move right on to the next one. All right, guys, here it is. I just moved it from my messy crafting table. I thought I'd bring it into the living room. I think it turned out super cute. Really like the light up there. The Merry Christmas was a nice added touch to the bottom. All right, let's start the next build with the same design. All right, so now we're gonna start this one. And this one will go a little faster because it's the same build and I don't have to go over the same amount of blocks. But like I said, I did change the color on the box. So in the box, all I did was use a metallic silver paint from DT, and then I just put Mod Podge over it and put the silver glitter. And you can get the glitter as well as DT. I did spray more snow around the edges than I did on the first one, and I just added some silver bead garland onto it. I'm going to just show you on the inside here. I've already put down some foam blocks. These ones are from DT, and I had this one. I think this one's from DT too, but I already put that in there. When putting on the lights, I did leave an extra 5 strands, which I put on the front, hot glued them on, and the battery pack's just in the back. But it just gives a nice glow in the front, like that. Now for the top, I did find similar to what I did on the first build, except this one was pre-done and I don't have to add nothing to it. I did get it from Dollarama, and as soon as I saw it, I really loved it. I just love the colors on it, and that's why I wanted to make another one when I was doing this one. I just thought how pretty with a lot of the snow looking on the top. So this is just going to be put like that. I'm not going to add anything. I think it's just perfect the way it is. So that will just be hot glued right on top of the existing build. Now for the, I wanted to add a couple different things in the box, so I'm just going to go over briefly with you. DT has these big long dusters. I know this one doesn't look like a big duster right now. All I did was take the scissors and make it more narrow, going to the point to the top. And when you take the handle off, it takes a little bit of elbow grease. You got to turn it really well before you could get it off. And then I just cut a little bit of the hair, the duster on the bottom, just or up here, right around that side. And this one, you don't need anything to poke it in because it'll just poke right into the styrofoam things in the box. So it will just turn out really nice. And I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna add anything else. I think just plain like that is simple. So I'm gonna put that one right in the back corner. Now, we all seen these at DT, super cute, and a lot of people were painting them. This is not the exact one I painted, but I'm just gonna show you. You can use a hair dryer just to lift all the hair off. For some reason, the hair is not glued all the way around in the back. It's just right in the sides, and you're just gonna have to make sure that you pull it all out. I wouldn't try to take it apart in case you break it. Just pulling it out and making sure not to leave any little strands, just so you don't spray paint them, because this one's just going to be more of a silver build. This is exactly what I did, and you'll just see the crack opens there, and the same with this side. And I just spray painted it with some metallic silver. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to put one of these, of course, famous little reindeers in there. And I just added a little bit of fur around the neck, and I'm just going to leave it like that. Now, these are the fun ones. Everybody loves these icicles this year. I don't remember. I think they did have them last year. I'm just looking here. I know I talk about Dollarama, and for all my fellow crafters are from the US, Dollarama is pretty much similar to Dollar Tree. Except that they do have a little bit more variety, probably comparable to like Hobby Lobby, Dollar General, stuff like that. But see, these are the exact same ones, no difference. This is from Dollarama, $1.75. These ones at DT, the same amount, 10 piece, 10 piece. And here in Canada, we pay $1.50, and they're actually moving stuff up to $1.75. And there's been some things lately that are $2. So we, I think it's time to, for myself to go across the border and do some shopping in the US, depending on the exchange. So we are going to use some of these. And I'll show you that after, once we do some placements here. We're going to do that. I also found this one. This one, and this one actually is from, this deer is from, I'm looking at the price, sorry guys. Michael's. So I'm just gonna, there's a little pin there, and I think I'm just gonna cut this out. It already came with the glitter. I could have added the glitter to make them match, but I'm just going to keep them separate so they just look totally different. And that one's going to go in there too. We're going to try to fit those in. Then we're going to get one of these little candle holder from Dollar Tree. Now really, everything's interchangeable inside the box, so you can put whatever decor. I don't know if anybody else plucks their tree sometimes. I go over and pick off ornaments to stick in my build when I can't find something that I really want to use. And then we have these globes. Now this one I can't remember because Dollar Tree and Dollarama does sell them. And they just open up. This one has the lid inside. I haven't decided exactly what I'm putting in here just for the moment, so I'm just going to leave this to the side. But in the meantime, I have this diamond, I don't even know, it was off some kind of solar light, and I am just going to glue it on right onto the top like that in the meantime while I'm thinking about what we're doing here. But I am just going to put those in, and then I'm going to show you the icicle placements. All right, I decided that I'm just going to put some silver Christmas trees from Dollar Tree. They come in, oh, I was just grabbing, a 6-pack. So there's 3 left. I'm going to put 3 in there. I'm just going to glue them. And I'm just going to use hot glue like this. And just to make sure that it goes over without hitting anything, and it does. Once I do hot glue them on, I am just going to use some Mod Podge, and I'm just going to paint around the base where it looks wood, and I'm just going to sprinkle some snow on the base where I paint them. And then I'm just going to turn this upside down, stick some more snow, and then I'm going to put it on, put the top on, and glue it to the base. Now I have to actually put the other insert. Oh, it's right there. I did add a little bling to the top. I just had a strip. I think this is for a couple of years ago. I've had this is in my stash from Wish, and I just cut a piece off just to give it some bling look to the top. All right, so I filled it all in. I just want to make a few notes when you're doing the foam on the bottom. I was lucky that I had the white only because you'll see through the glass. And now if you use the green floral form, you will see through the bottom of the glass. So I would suggest painting it or covering it up. I was just fortunate after I glued it on, I was like, oh, I totally forgot about that. So that's why you won't see through there. Just around the base of that, I did add, just off camera, just some embellishments, just jewelry strip from DT, and I just added 1 strip all the way around with a little bit left over. I have this garland that I've had, I think, just in my stash. I think it's from Dollarama. I don't remember seeing this. I'm just gonna actually hang it kind of similar to the last one I just did, but I'm just gonna hang it from one corner to the next, right in the middle, and do it to the other side as well, just with some hot glue. Might throw a few little foam balls in there. And I have one little silver, I have one little silver pine cone that I'm probably gonna stick here. You could stick presents. Now for the placement, let me just adjust the camera. Now you'll just see the little tips at the top of the camera because I can't put it any, let me just stop it. There you go, that's much better. So you're gonna pick your icicles. What I'm gonna do, and I'll just show you as I played around, I didn't even put hot glue on them. I'm gonna stick some hot glue just on top, and you're just gonna stick it right up. And even with without the hot glue, they actually just stick right in there, and you could just put different lengths. These ones here are the smaller ones, and this is one of the bigger ones. You just gotta play around, find a spot for it to stick in, just like that. I don't know how many I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna keep going around a few. I don't wanna put too many on there, but I just still wanna give it that nice effect. Let me get the rest put in and placed and glue these icicles, and then I'll show you with the lights turned on and show you what it looks like when it's finished. All right, guys, here it is. I think it just turned out so beautiful. I did add the bells. That's what happens if I let this sit anymore. I'm gonna add more stuff. So I wanted to film it and finish it right away. I added both the bells on each side. They're just a 2-pack from Dollar Tree. I added a few different icicles in there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please give me a thumbs up. It helps with my algorithms. I appreciate all the shout outs and all the kind comments you guys leave me. Happy crafting. See you soon. Bye.